go live before we can gavel in. All right, wonderful. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our guest with us today. I am going to call the meeting to order at 2:01 p.m. Our June 24, 2026 Palm Beach County Transportation Disadvantage Local Coordinating Board meeting to order. The Palm Beach MPO is conducting this meeting both in person and virtually via the Zoom platform. Instructions to join the virtual meeting as well as contact information for assistance are provided in the published meeting agenda. We will now proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll now have a roll call. At this time, we'll have Ruth to lead us. Thank you.
At this time, I'm only asking those board members attending in person to respond by saying here when I call your name. I want to remind you to unmute your microphones by pushing the button on the base prior to responding. Alternates, please also state your name if you are attending on behalf of a board representative. Mallory Sennett?
Here.
Nancy Yarnell?
Here.
Win Dang?
Here.
Jerome Hill? Angela Choice?
Here.
James Green is excused. Merlene Ramnun?
I'm here, thank you.
Laura Schultz? Isis Williams?
Good afternoon here.
Ariel Richardson? Michael Corbett?
Here.
Tatiana Gilliard?
Here.
DeAndre Poole?
Here.
Robert Goodman is excused. Judy Shanley?
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right. At this time, are there any changes to the minutes from our last meeting? Not, I'd like a motion to adopt the minutes as presented.
So move.
All right, we have a motion by Wynn. Is there a second?
Second.
Been seconded by Isis. Right, all in favor? And there any discussion before we move forward to vote? No discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Nay. Seeing none, motion to adopt the minutes is moved. All right, moving along fine here. Are there any general comments from the public?
No, Mr.
Comments, of course, are provided in the agenda, and I don't think we have any. Is that correct? Okay, let's move further. Well, I do have some comments. I would like to say that certainly it's a pleasure to be a part of this committee. And of course, I serve as a commissioner at the Port of Palm Beach, where I have been for the last 3.5 years. And professionally, I've been teaching at Florida Atlantic University for the past 15 years. And public service has been calling, and so I'm grateful that the members of the governing board felt that I would be good to serve as the liaison with our governing board of 21 elected officials. And I think that the MPO is doing great things under Valerie's leadership and Brian and the entire team. Thank you for your professionalism, for all that you do to make the MPO look good, make it look good and work well. So, and of course, again, it's a pleasure to meet Wynn and all of you. So we may see each other only 4 times a year, but I'm always out and about. And if you see me, just say hi and say hi. And I'm sure our paths will cross again and continue to cross in some way. Are there any member comments at this time? Any member comments? Please raise your card and I'll call on you. Okay, seeing no comments. I do want to add that I did attend the May Board of County Commissioners workshop on transit services and the budget evaluation for potential cuts And I thought it was important, even though I wasn't here officially. I still wanted to go to here. I was invited to attend, and there were, several other elected officials there as well, and many of them serve on our governing board. And so there, Leave the county at that particular meeting asked for more information from staff before they could make a determination as to how to move in terms of what cuts um, potentially could be made to the transportation budget. So we'll continue to monitor that and provide updates as needed. Okay. At this time, I'm going to invite Margie Tamblin, our senior multimodal planner, to come and review the liaisons report at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before I get started, I want to again welcome our new chair, DeAndre Poole, and also our new member, Judy Shanley. I don't know if you want to take a second to say anything, Judy. Introduce yourself. I think you have to the room mostly, but go ahead if you'd like.
You're very honored to be here. I'm Judy Shanley. I'm the National Director for Transportation, Mobility, and Education at the National Office of Easter Seals, which is in Chicago. I live and work out of my home in Boca Raton, Florida, and I even know how to say that. But I've worked with the MPO and I've worked with PalmTran for years and years at the national level, and I'm just really excited to be here and to be able to contribute to the transportation infrastructure and services in our community for people with disabilities. So thank you.
Thank you. We also have the interim director of PalmTran in the back of the room. Lynn Johnson is here. So welcome to her and welcome to all of you. Oh, yeah, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lynn Johnson. As Margie said, I'm the interim director for PalmTran Transportation in Palm Beach County, and I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. If there's anything that's needed on behalf of myself or PalmTran, we're more than happy to make ourselves available, and we're excited to be here this afternoon. Thank you.
All right, so we will get into the liaison report. So June is National Safety Month. You may have seen some safety campaigns that are ongoing. The National Safety Council has some workplace safety information, safety on roadways, to name a few focus areas that they're focused on this year. And for more information or additional resources, please visit nsc.org/workplace/national-safety-month. I'm excited to announce that the Palm Beach MPO was awarded an annual or special recognition at the annual Traffic Safety Awards in regard to our Vision Zero work. So we're super excited about that. The annual report, which we have every year, as you would imagine, it's an annual report, that is online and has been published officially. So you can see everything that we were up to this past fiscal year as it comes to a close. And then the 5E toolkit is showcasing some of the resources and strategies for local governments to use when considering and advancing safety in communities across Palm Beach County. And if you're unfamiliar with the 5 E's, those E's are engineering, education, encouragement, enforcement, and evaluation. For more information and to check out that document, you can visit our website /5E toolkit. And the MPO tools and tutorials, we have a lot of maps and resources on our website that may be not the easiest to use if you're unfamiliar. So if you're looking for a tutorial on how to use those maps or the comment map, there's a variety of different tools that are available. The interactive map tool. The videos are brief, but they give users a good idea of how to use the tools if they are unfamiliar. So palmbeachmpo.org/tutorials for more information about that. As a reminder, the countywide transportation master plan is still ongoing. For more information about that and to get involved with that, pbcmoves.com. And the Florida Public Transit Association Conference, the FPTA, conference will take place on October 25th through the 27th in Orlando. For more information about that conference, floridatransit.org. And to get involved in general with the things that we have going on here at the Palm Beach MPO, you can sign up for our newsletter, or you could visit palmbeachmpo.org/resources. And that is all I have for the liaison report. Any questions?
Thank you, Margie. No questions. We will continue with our agenda. Action item that we have on our agenda today, we have a motion to approve the CTD trip and equipment rate model. We'll invite Joanna Zephyrin, Grants and Compliance Manager at Palm to present on this item.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joanna Zephyrin, and I'm the Grant and Compliance Manager at PalmTran. Today, we're going to talk about a transportation disadvantage rate model for 2026 and 2027. Right here, we have the transportation disadvantage background. The TD program description is required trip 3/4 mile. The TD program is outside the ADA requirement. How the rate are established is we get a spreadsheet provided by the CDT and the impact of the changes to the rate. All right. Right here, we have the rates are determined by the Commission for the Transportation, CDT. Excel spreadsheet is provided by the CDT annually. The rate is calculated based on the information we provided from our financial. The funding remain the same and it get divided by the number of trip provided this year and projected for the next year. And here you can see we had a decrease. The current condition is TD funding is allocated using a formula that consider a base amount, population, performance, and local adjustment factor. Palm Beach County paid for hours of service. Emergency contract are now in effect. Palm Beach County have received submittal for the current parent transit solicitation. And PalmTran is respectfully request a motion to adopt the proposed rate model. Do you guys have any questions?
Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any board members, any questions?
I have one. Why did it go down so much? What attributed to that, the rate?
The rate is formula based and it's based on the more trip we have, it get divided. That hence the reason why it went down.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, that was my question as well. What do we attribute the changes to? So the
Sorry, I could go back to
okay,
it
yeah,
so you
go
guys
back
could
to
see
that
it.
again. Okay, all right. Any questions from anyone else? Okay, wow.
And not really a question, just a comment on that, because the overall grant amount does not change.
Okay,
So the more trips we're doing, and we're just dividing that by the overall grant amount.
okay,
Just gives us a mechanism to bill by the trip to the TD Commission more than anything, but it doesn't affect our overall allocation.
okay. Thank you for that. And I want to acknowledge Millery Center.
My question has nothing to do with the rate. It's about the Advantage Ride grant that I know St. Lucie will not have it this year. Have you guys applied for it? The Advantage Ride that St. Lucie County, they were for 3 years where they were not supposed to, but this year the commission will not grant it to St. Lucie or St. Lucie and in River County for the clients. Or did you guys apply for it? I'm not sure.
I don't believe that we would be applying for that. I believe
No,
that there
we
is
will
a-
not. And I'm trying to make sure I hear the name of the grant. You said Advantage Grant, correct?
Advantage Ride.
Yeah,
It's
that's not one that we have applied for through PalmTran, and I don't believe the MPO would know
The
anything
MPO would
about
not
it either.
apply for that because only operators are eligible for, I believe, that service. We are still in discussion about the Port St. Lucie Express and providing that service. It's just a matter of the state funding and their contribution. We had a meeting recently with Port St. Lucie, or excuse me, St. Lucie County, PalmTran, Palm Beach County, about the kind of future of that. I believe that all the partners would like to see it continue. It's just a matter now of having the funding formula broken down and how that's going to continue moving
Correct.
forward.
Correct. But with our current funding that we've received from the state thus far, we have enough funding through December of 2027. Okay, and then we would kind of have those discussions moving forward about the future of the service and the contributions that Palm Beach County or any other partners may be able to. But right now it's a pilot program, so we are still monitoring the service and the outcomes.
Thank you.
And we have Judy will acknowledge you as well.
Hi, Judy Shanley. This is, so these data are based upon a per capita. Does it take into account vehicle miles traveled, geography, any other variables that might influence cost?
Can you go back to that slide real quick? The top is the formula that they use to determine the allocation, and basically it's a state amount, the state, based on the Transportation Disadvantaged Trust Fund. And then this formula is how they use, and we don't have the actual percentages within each category of how they break it out, but there is a portion for population. Performance is more a ridership, so not necessarily.
Mr. Chair, if I may, and maybe to add to that and ask Ron to confirm, the state also attributes funding strictly based on an urban versus rural formula for if you're a urban county or a rural county. And that's the only definition that they have provided on their trip and equipment grant. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's basically a way to also make it fair to the small counties is what they're trying to do here. And we also have to very distinctly separate our ADA services from our TD services and not bill any TD services, ADA services to the TD. Again, a fairness to the smaller counties.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to ask for a motion now to approve the CTD trip and equipment rate model. If there's no further discussion, can I have a motion to adopt?
Chair, I move to adopt the CTC trip and equipment rate model.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Currently Ramnon, I second.
All right, been seconded by Marlene, I'm gonna get it. Been seconded by Marlene. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion carries. Right. We now have our second item, agenda item, a motion to receive and file the CTC evaluation result. I'm going to invite Margie Tamlin again, our senior multimodal planner, to present on this item.
Good afternoon again. We are in June now, and we are coming to a close for the CTC evaluation, so the Community Transportation Coordinator evaluation. It's been fun. Thank you all for your help and for doing observation rides, surveying riders. It's been a heavy lift, but we did it. So for the contents of this presentation, we have the evaluation purpose and need, survey and observation results, findings and recommendations, and some next steps. So the purpose and need, this is a grant deliverable for us, so we have to complete this each year. We review the LCB and the Palm Beach MPO team. We review the CTC annually to evaluate, again, operations and performance. A new thing that we've done this year is to survey drivers. In the past, we have not done that, and that's not required by the grant, but this year we decided to get a holistic look at the system and survey riders, beneficiaries, purchasers of service, contractors, and drivers. Again, this runs from March to June, and then we have findings and recommendations that we give to you at this meeting. So again, the evaluation roles, there's a state, the Palm Beach MPO, the Community Transportation Coordinator, and then all of you, the local coordinating board. So the CTC evaluation task that we go through, we complete the workbook, we conduct surveys, all of you and some of us conduct observation rides, and we did a site visit back in May. So that takes us from March to June. So to briefly go through some of the passenger survey results, and also to talk about some past results and targets for this year. So we had a target this year to have 15 observation rides, and we had 16. So way to go, team. Way to go, LCB members. Good job. Thank you for getting out there in the buses and evaluating the service. In the past, well, it's the most we've had in the past 3 years. So thank you so much for getting out there. 87% of those rides were done by LCB members. So we got a substantial amount of emails from Palm Connection to survey riders. We had 7,500. Of those 7,500, we had about 9% respond, but that's more than we've had in the past couple of years as well. Just shy of, well, 691, so just shy of 700, which is pretty good. And we had riders that were surveyed by phone through the LCB. We had about 16 of those riders that were surveyed by phone. So again, 16 observation rides by 7 LCB members. 80% of those riders rated the service at greater than or equal to 10 or 8 out of 10. And 7,500 riders that were emailed 3 times and 691 surveys that were completed. So some of the questions that we asked the riders, to not give you the full survey, but how often do you ride PalmTran? Most people said that they ride 1 to 2 times per week, to 3 to 5 times per week. A small portion said they ride 7 times per week or more. And then there's a big portion of others as well. What do you normally use the service for? People said that they use it for treatments that your life depends on. Some people go to work. Education, training, and daycare is another category. Food shopping, other, and the biggest category that we found was doctor's appointments, are what the service is used for. And what does transportation mean to you? We usually ask for a word, but sometimes people give sentences, and a lot of people have mentioned that it's a lifeline for them, that they don't have other options or means to get around, and transportation is independence. Transportation is important. It's freedom. It's being able to get where you need to go, and we're grateful to have that service here in Palm Beach County. So in terms of driver survey results, we asked them about 4 questions just to kind of keep it short and simple. And we basically said either you agree, you disagree, or you're kind of neutral on the statement. And we had 3 questions and then one kind of, what can we improve on statement. So PalmTran Connection communicates clearly and keeps drivers informed about schedules, changes, and expectations. About 50% of people agreed, 26% disagreed, 24% were neutral. PalmTran Connection is responsive and helpful when drivers need assistance or encounter issues during service. 51% agree, and the other half is 18% disagree, 31% are neutral on that. Trip assignments and daily coordination are organized in a way that supports safe and efficient service. 51% agree, 23% disagree, and 26% are neutral. So some key findings and recommendations that we have. So service cost is a big point of concern for everyone. And we are trying to figure out ways to get people to use the fixed route if possible. And perhaps a remedy to that is having a travel trainer, which, if you're unfamiliar, is someone that shows someone the ropes of how to use the fixed route, and maybe offering a discounted pass as well for that. On-time performance remains to be an improvement area. A lot of people have also complained about and have concerns with long wait times for reservations. I've gotten a few calls in regard to that, that they say that they're the 41st person in line waiting to make a reservation, and it takes a few hours to get through. So that is a concern for us. And some recommendations that we have are to consider new transportation network connections and education efforts, travel trainers again for the fixed route. To improve communication with riders and drivers, the drivers were concerned with not having adequate communication, and it seems like the riders as well had that same issue. To update some technology, I'm not sure that the GIS is the GPS is the most accurate, and there were some concerns with getting to locations. So if we can update that, that would be helpful. I know it's an expense, but something to consider, of course. And then to continue collaboration with local partners. So at the CTD or the state level, the CTC is meeting these goals. So passengers no-shows of less than 5%, road calls are less than or equal to 1 per 10,000 miles. The complaint ratio is lower than it needs to be. They're meeting those goals, and then they need to work on call hold times, which is evident from the phone calls and the surveys that we've received. On-time performance is another goal that they need to work on, and at-fault crashes are another goal. So they should just continue working as they have been. There's been some improvement in some areas and some areas that still need some help. But overall, yeah. In terms of the tour of the Palm Trend Connection facility, those of you that were able to make it, thank you so much for coming. And here's some pictures of that event. We were glad to have you all there. But other than that, that wraps up what I had. Does anybody have any questions about the CTC evaluation? Anyone want to share their concerns, comments, experience, maybe doing an observation ride, surveying customers, clients of the system?
Let's see if we have any public comments first. Any,
No, Mr. Chair.
no public comments, board members, any comments? Isis? No? Oh, you were looking at me, I ain't know. Calling people out. Valerie?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you, Chair. I was just curious, if you could go back to the pie charts, if possible. I was just curious because with the drivers, the review of the drivers, I noted that there, thank you. So on average, 50% was agreeing, and then we had on average 22% that was disagreeing. Did we follow up with those 22% just to figure out why they're disagreeing or what's needed, what, if there are barriers, issues, communication issues, or what? Thank you.
We did not follow up, but some of them, there's a fourth question that's more of like a written response. And some people were able to provide comments on what they thought they needed help with. One of the big concerns for a lot of drivers is the dispatch from what we saw, and maybe not responding at all or much too late. So that seems to be one of the recurring themes that we saw within those surveys. But as to following up with those that disagreed, we don't necessarily know who they are, but
No,
if they
that's
left
fine.
it. Mhm.
So thank you for that. That makes sense with that written piece. So with that information that we have in the recommendation piece of it, if you could just go forward, is that a part of the recommendation since they outline in their summary of what it is that is?
We have that included in the recommendation in the executive summary, but we did not include it in the slideshow, just, to try and keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I may, just that has been something that is in a bit of a transition point right now. I think maybe Ron actually is putting his card up and wants to elaborate a bit. So go ahead.
That is a good point, and I think we'll work with our vendor. In fact, we have MV Transportation, Richard Gonzalez joining us. We'll work with our vendor and see about possibly doing a further survey with the drivers and get more detailed, because it is something we do here, and especially now that we're in the same building, do more coordination with the drivers as far as coming up, meeting the dispatchers meeting the drivers, and talking those things out.
Awesome. Thank you.
First, I want to thank Margie for helping me with scheduling my ride because they forgot to
Oh,
like a month until she followed up with me, asked me if they have. The other thing I requested that they pick me up and pick up other individuals. And when they drop me, because I wanted to observe them interact with other clients, not only me on the bus, they did not do that. So next year I will prefer they do, because I do that survey for my other boards, and it's good to see how they treat their regular drivers, because I was a new rider, so I get the special treatment. But the regular people, they will pick up on the way to the adult day program or work. I wanted to see how they interact with them as well. And thank you again, Margie.
yeah, of course, of course. I was like, hey, did you get on that ride?
And my apologies that didn't happen like that, because we really tried to do that to give everybody an experience.
Don't feel bad. Martin
Yeah.
County forgot to call me too. So-
All right. One more further, Marlene?
Comments regarding the observational ride. So it's my second time. I did it last year. This year, my experience was very good as well as last year. I know the first driver came so early, like 6:30 or a little after 6 in the morning to pick me up. And so I missed that ride. Of course, I rescheduled, but there were two females. And so I rode the bus twice, from home to work, from work to home. And they didn't know who I am, but I was the only person, on the bus. And it was a very good experience. So we chatted, all the way there. Both drivers, they were very cautious, especially when it comes to the traffic sign and the traffic on the road. And they try to divert and look at their GPS to make sure that they would bring me home safely, and in the least amount of time. So that was very good. But I had a very good experience. I didn't say why I'm riding alone in the bus, but whatever it was, they were very, very pleasant, both drivers.
That's great.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to hear that. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I think we made this comment last year for value rider. It's how our names are entered into the system. So if that can be adjusted upcoming
We'll
year.
try next year to get some variety.
The other thing is, I think over the years, I've had the opportunity to experience different type of vehicles between the van and the minibus. And one of the things that I observed this year is that, especially being in a minibus, there's quite a bit of signage when you walk into the bus. And some of them, and for me, from that perspective, I am a middle-aged lady that can see fairly well, but I find that those signs are actually smaller than it should be. So from an ADA perspective, it's visually, there's a lot of signage that I think it needs to be cleaned up. Outside of that, I am also very interested to see more pool rides because of the efficiency. I think it's because my trips is quite short that I don't get to observe. But from the perspective of the driver, he's very professional. He was observe all the traffic rules. He's actually is driving under the speed limit, which that could be. I'm very supportive of that. But overall, I didn't see any issues with the GIS or any of the pickup and drop off. It was definitely within the window as far as like pickup. So we have a 15-minute grace period and he was actually right on time. So thank you.
Valerie?
Yes, I agree with those ladies that they were on time, very polite, very professional. The bus, they were clean and they helped you onto the bus, help you find your seatbelt. You guys have great drivers. Thank you.
All right. There are no further comments from the board. I am seeking a motion to receive and file the CTC evaluation results. Now we can have a motion.
So move.
All right, have a motion by Isis Williams. Is there a second? Second by Miller Resent. All right. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay. Seeing none, motion carries. All right. And now we're going to go to any action items. We have an action items from our partner agencies.
Informational items, sorry. Apologies. I believe Ron Jones.
Oh, I'm
may want to
sorry.
Make a couple points.
Information items, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
There's none.
Oh, ready for me?
Oh, Ron, okay.
One of the things you saw was a picture of our new facility and the tour there. For those of you who are able to come out and have a tour. Anybody who hasn't, feel free one day, let us know, stop by. But one of our two prime vendors, TransDev, has fully moved into the building, and we are still negotiating with MV to also move into the building and having those discussions. But so we are 2/3 up to capacity at this point. We also mentioned during the presentation our invitation to negotiate, basically our bid for paratransit services. We did receive the bids back, and our purchasing department is reviewing those for completeness. And that's an item we hope to complete and take to our board possibly in December. And also appreciate the efforts on the review. Went very well.
Likewise. We hope to have another tour with the CTC in the LCB at the facility once it's fully built out, operational, and both the vendors are in, so that we can see it in a little bit more of a state of completeness. There was obviously construction going on of desks, partitions, and other things, but seemed to be operating. We want to see it kind of in its full swing. So we appreciate you hosting us potentially twice in 1 year for a tour, Ron.
No problem.
All right. I think any other questions for Ron? All right. Well, I think we're at the end of our agenda, everybody. Any board members having any final comments or for staff?
So, Ron, I wanted to thank you for helping that family for me that I referred to you. They sent me an email. One of the young lady, she was kicked out of her transportation from Boca. I emailed you and your office reached out to the mother and worked with her, and she has her transportation back. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anything we could do to help?
Thanks.
Thank you. I would just say that, you know, since I've been active with the MPO and certainly coming on board with this particular board, you know, I can report back to my mother-in-law who was visually impaired, and she lives in Washington, D.C. And she's like, I'm not moving to Florida because y'all transportation is not like it is in D.C. But I can tell her, no, we have some options for you. Right. So maybe my wife and I can get her to come visit us more often if she can get around. So this work is very personal for me as well. And thank you to Brian and Margie and Valerie for bringing me up to speed. And then as I said earlier, I look forward to working with all of you. And this is very important work that we're doing. People are depending on us with just advisory, but in that, I've heard some things today that I thought were very insightful, and the perspectives that we all bring are very helpful. So please, we want to continue that engagement. I know Chair Reed was very hands-on, very much so, and can't walk in her shoes, but I look forward to working with all of you. All right. With that said, I have no other comments. Our next meeting is scheduled for August 26th, 2026. And we are hereby adjourned. Time is 2:38. All right, we're adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.